Hi everyone. Today we're here to discuss Anji Kills a King by Evan Leikam. I think that's how you say his name, but anyway, apologies all around. I just had a really great time reading this debut novel by Evan, and it was just great. So I just want to kind of talk about it, dissect it, analyze it, whatever, and hopefully get some of you to pick it up. This is your alert for spoilers. There will be some throughout this video, so if you want to click off now, that's great. So getting right into it, Anji Kills a King is clearly about Anji killing a king, except for the fact that she kills the king within like the first like 3 sentences of the book, okay? And this book is like not that long. It's I think 368 pages. So very fast, and also like the cover, freaking sick, right? Like it is so good. It's a great cover to look at, and as you read the book, like you can kind of like, they have all of the little plot points throughout the cover as well, which I thought was like really well done. But anyway, circling back to our main point, so the synopsis is that within like the first page, you find out that Anji has offed this king because she's like a laundry girl or something in his court, and she just finds like a sharp instrument and the perfect opportunity, and so she just like stabs him and he's dead. However, that's kind of the start of the story, I guess, to like how Anji kind of, escapes, or does she escape really? So Anji thought that like because she's like a no-name, nothing kind of a girl, that she would just, walk off into the crowd and then that would be that. Except it's not that easy, right? Like it's way harder than that. So she's like at a bar, and this other person named Hawk, which we later find out Hawk is part of this like secret service group or something, or like bounty hunter group almost, called the Menagerie. And they're like, they take on animal shapes essentially, and they kind of wear masks around, and they're basically these like vigilante people, except not really for the good. Like it's unclear whether they're good or evil, and that's like a big thing in this book. It's very hard to pinpoint who's good, who's evil. People shift all the time, which I eat that stuff up for breakfast, okay? Like that stuff like really like, ooh, it scratches an itch deep down. So anyway, what ensues across this book is this constant fight that Anji is undergoing to escape. Meanwhile, Hawk is trying to, catch her. And there's this entire fragile kingdom that is just unraveling because the king is dead. So the pace of this novel is just, it's fast. It is breakneck pace, okay? Like it moves. Evan does not waste a single word. Evan doesn't waste a single line. He's very direct and to the point. So there's so many things that ensues, and even till the end, he has you guessing whose side Anji really is on. And then in the end, and this is the biggest spoiler, is that Anji is on Anji's side. Like Anji only cares about Anji. So, and that was a little bit of a tough pill for me to swallow, honestly, but I really enjoyed it regardless. So let's take a deeper look at Anji. She like worked as this like nothing, like a laundry person in this bigger court, and I love how impulsive Anji is. Like she saw this sharp instrument, she didn't think twice, she decided that she's gonna stab the king. Like that's what Anji is. And like throughout the novel, she like kills a few others, and it's so amazing as to how Evan portrays her split-second decision making as to who she's gonna kill and how, and also why. Like the motive behind her killing a lot of the times was unclear initially to me, and then later on, like you find out like, oh, like she's really thinking about this very roundabout, and like I don't think I would have gotten there. However, I also don't go around killing people, so there's that. And then you have the Hawk, who is this like seasoned warrior, but there's also this entire layer of magic, which they call maxia. And you can somehow abuse it, almost like it's a drug of some sort. And so they go through withdrawal and stuff. So Hawk is essentially spiking her stamina with maxia, and you like it shows like the effects of the drug and how that is like, you know, really wearing her down. And Anji, like as she finds out these things, because she's so clever and you know, conniving, she uses it to her advantage essentially. So there's a constant push and pull between these two characters, which is really what propels this novel forward. You never really know like what either of their motives is. Like why is Hawk trying to catch her, and there's like a deeper entire story in that, which I'll just let the readers read that, okay? gotta keep some mystery alive. And then Anji just wants to like survive. So her motives are a little bit clear. However, there are times where Anji shows some like level of loyalty towards Hawk, which I thought were endearing. And then at the end, she goes and kills her anyway. So I'm like the shots and the surprises just keep on coming with Evan. And I initially thought that this was a standalone, and then for this video, my bad, I was looking online, and now in Goodreads, it shows that, oh no, it's a series, and I'm like, interesting, like, I really don't know where Evan's gonna take this, because he leaves it at such, like, a cliffhanger that, like, Anji is now impersonating the Hawk, and that's kind of where it ends, and I don't know how far Anji can go with this before the other members of the menagerie come. But by this point, Anji has slaughtered a good amount of the menagerie members. Well, Anji and Hawk, actually, they were both kind of implicated. And it's just wild to me how, like, it feels very much like I don't think he can take it anywhere. And I really thought that this could have been a very nice standalone in the sense that, like, there's really no redemption for Anji, and she's just, you know, she's found her escape. She has, like, you know, left, like, she's gotten away with it in all the murders, essentially. The themes and the world building around this were so well done. So there's, like, a very main theme that keeps showing up throughout this novel, and that is that just killing the head honcho doesn't necessarily have this trickle down effect that we think it would have, you know what I mean? So I think Brandon Sanderson brought this up in Mistborn as well, where I think his entire premise for writing Mistborn was that, well, what if our, you know, group of heroes get to the end and they're just not powerful enough to overthrow him? And so the first book of Mistborn kind of revolves around overthrowing that Dark Lord, and that's the villain's name in there. But, like, you know, for Harry Potter fans, the whole entire series is overthrowing Voldemort, and that's great and stuff. But, like, I love that Evan took the time to, like, craft this novel that it's not one person that's evil, and that culture in general just trickles down. So even if you get rid of that, the face of the evilness, which would be the leader of this clan, right? The evilness, the culture of it all has spread throughout the people. So despite Anji completely, like, savagely murdering the king of this world, it doesn't have the same ripple effect that Anji was expecting it to have. Like, it wasn't like there wasn't parties in the streets, you know what I mean? Like, you had factions of people all of a sudden, and the entire realm is now thrown into chaos without a suitable leader. In the aftermath of basically there being a bounty on Anji's head, which I don't think she anticipated. I don't think, like, Anji knew that that's what it would come to, and I thought that that was, like, a given. So given that, like, she's so clever, I'm like, how could you not see this, girl? How? So that was a little much for me. I also really liked Evan's world building. It's fast, it's sparse. He gives you only the bits that you need to know, and he leaves a lot of it up to our imagination. So like, he doesn't really go into like the details of who's subordinate to the king, like blah blah blah. Like, he literally only gives you the bits that you need. And I imagine that was like a stylistic choice because he can now kind of fill in as he continues the series. But I found that to be refreshing. Like, I loved that he kind of left a lot of it loose. And so really, this book may not even belong in the fantasy genre. Like, honestly, like the only reason that it does is because there is some speak of magic or maxia. And it's like a far off world that like there's other rules that govern it. But overall, it's really about deceit and manipulation. And I find that premise to be just so delicious, just so delicious, you know. Who would I recommend this to? Honestly, I didn't realize when reading that this is what grimdark looks like, but apparently this is very grimdark-esque. Because I don't know, I've tried picking up grimdark, it just doesn't fit for me, but it's also because I like a very moving, fast-paced book. Like, I don't want to dilly-dally with the little things and the details. Like, I want to move. And so that's what I thought this entire book was, and it was perfect for me. So if you want moral complexity, grimdark fantasy-ish, and the main thing that I think will turn away a lot of readers is the anti-hero aspect of Anji. Like, Anji is not your cookie cutter hero. Like, think Damon Salvatore from The Vampire Diaries, okay? Like, initially, I hated Damon. And then, do I ship him now? Yes. Is it toxic? Yes. But I don't care. So that's who Anji is. Like, Anji is someone that I love to hate right now. But I know that there's going to be a lot more development with her or there, at least there's potential for it. So I'm really excited to see where Evan takes this. Now, I'm sure that this book is going to have some criticisms. And specifically mine, because I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars on my Goodreads. And I rated a 3-star largely because this is a debut novel and there were some points that were missing. So for example, I felt the rest of the side characters of the menagerie to be very one note. There were a lot of random things that Evan added, like this like romantic scene between 2 of the menagerie characters that I was like, that's unnecessary. Like, you could have taken that time to kind of develop the characters a little bit further, or maybe give us a little bit more into the background of the hawk and like why she's abusing Maxie all of a sudden, you know? So like, it's like little things like that that I felt that he could have developed a little bit more about. But a lot of these things I feel are like debut author problems. Like, once like he gets like, you know, kind of seasoned a little bit, I don't think these will exist. Like, the talent is there, the skill is there, he's done a great job with this story. So like, I didn't want to like really like, you know, take too much away from him. But yes, a lot of it, I think, the criticisms stem around the fact that Anji is very unlikable. And I think that was Evan's intention, like, all the way. Like, I think Evan wanted to make Anji as unlikable as he could possibly make her. So he did. And I think having, like, almost like an anti-hero in a book is very unsettling for the reader. I also think the moral ambiguity of the book is going to be extremely unsettling for the reader as well. And I think that's kind of where most of the criticisms lie. Don't listen to any of it, okay? Just make your own opinion, I think, at the end of the day. Go in with an open mind, and I do think that, like, because it's a debut novel, like, there's gonna be some things that are gonna be off-putting to most people. However, those are small things that Evan will naturally learn and become adept at. So I have no qualms about it. I have no concerns about it. I think this is a great start, and I am so excited to continue reading more of Evan. Yeah, so anyway, thanks so much, guys, for coming along with me. And if this was really, you know, up your alley, please leave me something. Do all the things, you know, like subscribe, comment, like, all of that stuff. And yeah, so that's that. Good night, everybody.